Shalom. I'm going to try to keep this short. I'm in my garden. It's June 16. This is my tomato and sunflower bed. I got 2 sunflowers. Last year my sunflowers showed off. It was nice. So there's big tomatoes and there's cherry tomatoes, which is a little bit smaller. So right now, it doesn't look like much, but I promise you in a month or so, Yah willing, that this will be a big bed. It grows fast. And that's what I'm learning, to make sure to keep the ground moist and obviously sun and water. But as soon as that ground is dry, stuff could be dying, stuff will not be growing. So I just want to show off my cabbage. This grew, I started it in August last year by mistake. It was too late to grow cabbage. It didn't grow. I gave up on it, didn't water it all winter. And then come February, I'm noticing my cabbage is starting to grow. And now look at it. This is a hard cabbage. When you knock on something, that's the Manakati hand sign of hard. That's the hand sign. This is my pumpkin, which I tried last year. Did fail because I'm learning. This is my 2nd year of really gardening, and I'm learning. Notice this cover protects the garden, protects it. Because at first, this was being eaten by some kind of bug or something. Look how it's flourishing. This cover protects it. It's a protection, and this is growing amazing. Look at this right here. This whole container, Amazon, 80 bucks. Love it. But it blocks the rain. It has a side thing. And when it rains, you know it's going to rain. You must uncover it. Okay? And so that's what I do. Check it out. Right now, I don't know if that's broccoli or kale. It should not be this big because it's summer. It's heat. Too much heat on it. Like it grows best in March. And so there's a season for it. But you can manipulate the weather by doing contraptions like this. So I keep this bed covered. And I make sure it's nice and watered. It should not be growing like this. It doesn't like, the bugs love it, like the butterflies. You have to protect your kale and your broccoli from butterflies and certain bugs that love it. And so that's why it's always covered up. So certain bugs, they love certain plants, and that's how you keep your plants growing. Got my strawberries. These are June berries, only strawberries in June. It came in May for me. This is a really exceptional bed. The strawberries are expanding next year. It will double or triple. I need to move some of these strawberries so it can grow and put it somewhere else so much. So I'm learning a lot. This bed is squash. Squash grows like crazy. Got to watch out for mildew. Spray vinegar on it to protect it from mildew. Some strawberry bed. Strawberries grow on straw, but notice that my whole garden has straw in it. I use different techniques in my garden. Got the raised bed. This is copper. Copper puts energy of copper, something to do with electricity. This bed has copper wire too. I got copper wire on Amazon, and I put it on a stick. It's not witchcraft. It's garden science. I forget what they call it, but I do use that in my garden. And this hay, it protects the ground from the sun losing water. It helps to save water, and so I think it does work. It keeps the bed moist, and so I make sure the plants grow, and I put it in it stops the weed, and it keeps the moisture in the ground so you don't have to water it so much. So there's techniques here. Got my corn. I know corn, they say, is a hybrid crop, but corn is written in the scriptures. It looks like Joseph. It looks to me like Joseph created corn. If you look in the scriptures, the word that is corn, Joseph, during the time of Egypt, is when this word appeared, and it's famine protection food. Corn will protect us from famine. Why wouldn't you grow corn? Corn has kept us survived as a people throughout famine. Corn can be stored. Corn is delicious. Yes, sometimes it's hard to digest, but come famine, you're going to be wanting some corn. I'm growing corn. More tomato, squash. I do like squash. A crop did fail there, but I will replace it because what I noticed in my garden is that last year's crop sometimes will grow on its own. I have gourds, I think it's called, that grew on its own. We got a little cucumber right there, and I made a cucumber trellis. So I try to make my garden beautiful. I hope it looks beautiful. I think it looks beautiful. I use a mixture of different beds. This right here, you know, one of these crates and stuff, I was going to plant something in the middle of it. I put dirt in it. So I try to make it interesting. And this right here is supposed to have a cover. Like if this was like March or something, it would have a cover to protect it from the cold, but it's not cold, so I took it off to protect the cover. And so there's different techniques you can do. I got my fruit trees in containers because I don't plan on staying here. This is not a big yard. I don't plan on staying here. I plan on leaving. And when I do leave, I'm taking my fruit trees. Got my pear tree here. That's plum. It's not a great tree. It's not really that edible. This is blueberry, I think. I did get apricot, but why is there no leaves? Like, I think I bought a dead tree. I got to return it. I don't like it. Because there's no leaves. It should be leaves, I would think. We got blueberries, blackberries. I don't know why my raspberry is not doing well in there. But yeah, in containers, I'm taking it with me. I did lose a grapevine over the winter. I didn't water it. I didn't think you had to water it. Apparently, you got to water your I guess your grapes during the winter. I didn't realize that. I thought it'd be fine. It wasn't fine. But I did, one didn't die. This is a grapevine. It didn't die. Look how beautiful it is. One of them are Niagara Fall grapes, and the other one was Concord. I don't know if this is Niagara or Concord, but either way, this one's living good. I did lose a roses. I had red roses and yellow roses. One died because I didn't water it. Yeah, this is why I'm learning how to garden, because when we get land, if we don't know what we're doing, why do we buy land? We're not going to be able to live off of it. If you don't start gardening now, you're not going to be able to live off the land because you're not going to know how to protect your garden. Watermelon. Now, last year I grew watermelon. I planted it. It did die, and then I planted it again, and it grew, and it was going great. But late in the summer, like when it starts hitting August, watermelon, it's not good for growth. It's too late for you to plant watermelon unless you live in Florida or something. Okay, the sun will start to come here. So I do my garden work like right on sunrise, because that's when it's cool. Like right now, it's all shaded. If I were to do work in my garden, it would have been earlier today. And when it hits noon, the sun's right there. When it hits up in the middle of the sky noon, you got to get out of your garden. The heat is unbearable. And so you can do all kinds of work and get all kinds of things done right at sunrise. And so this is my garden, and I think I'm learning a lot. I know I'm learning a lot. I have a front garden too. I'm not going to show you. I want to keep this short. I got these little containers. These are for little plants that didn't really make it, but I'm giving them a chance. I don't like to kill plants. And so I put them in a container. This should be a pepper. So if it can grow decent size, it's going to go in my gardens. I'm giving it a chance. Got my potatoes, 2 cabbages. There's a cabbage in the middle there. So I'm learning. I could have grew more things. I need more garden beds. This is my goal. While I'm preparing mentally to live off the land, I need to learn. There's also a water catcher back there. I need 3 more water catchers. I'm trying. What are you guys doing?